Yes, yes, people, we are back. We are live. We are here. I don't have that energy yet, but I will.
Them tunes are sick, blood. You mad? Them tunes are sick, blood. Do you know the intro? I thought I was ready to go into war then, and that's what this is, guys. This is the Northwest Divide. This is war. This is war.
This is war. I'm telling you, man, it is war, man. I want to get everyone pumped up. I want to get everyone ready. But yeah, man, big up to everybody who's here. Over 200 of you's already in the chat. Big up to the community. Please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to Jay's Redmond TV. The title link is in the title, so all you got to do is click on that title. Subscribe to Jay's Redmond. And we are here, James. Big up to Jay's Redmond TV. What are you telling me? You good?
We are here. We are here. I mean, I'm good. I'm good. We finally won a game, but we can talk about how crap Liverpool are later. Let's talk about United. Let's talk about United, because Saeed, mate, here's the thing about United. Yous are bottle jobs. Do you want me to tell you why you're bottle jobs?
Go on.
Because this is the one season where big Manchester United, with a new elite coach, with so many new world-class players, Lisandro Martinez, one of the best centre-backs in the world. Am I right, Saeed?
Well, listen, I don't know, but go on, carry on.
And then furthermore, you've got Fred, who's turned into the new what's his face, friggin' like slash Casemiro Kaka into one. You know what I mean? So you've got there we go. Well, better than Fabinho. And Fabinho supposedly one of the best DMs in the world. So you've got an opportunity where City are the shittest they've been in time. We're the shittest we've been in time, and you're competing with Arsenal, who haven't won a league since 2004. So in my opinion.
Relax. This bottle job. Relax.
No, I'm just saying it was a chance to capitalise. How many points are you behind Arsenal?
We're, I think, 8 points behind them now.
Yous are absolute disgraces. This was the one chance for big Manchester United to make a comeback, and you bottled it.
United to win the title. What's going on here?
I think you should be holding the standards of your massive football club to be winning the Premier League title for sure, especially when your manager said all eras come to an end, and he's not even fucking capitalising on it.
Listen, hold on a minute. The season ain't finished. It's 19th of January.
So do you think you'll win the league?
No, I'm not. I don't think that. I never said that.
Do you think you should compete? But do you think you should compete? No. I don't care about your feelings. I'm caring about what you think you should do and the standards. And the standards you hold your football club to.
I would always put my standards on Man United to always compete, regardless of what manager we're in. Man United Football Club should always be competing. But you have to have realistic expectations. I never ever for once this season thought United will win the league. For me to be disappointed after a draw and after the momentum we built says a lot about United. So, listen, for anyone that was getting giddy about title talk, I've never been on that train. But, like I said, step by step, it is
Hey, Saeed, let me ask you a question, my brother, yeah? Are you one of those guys who've been saying to Arsenal fans like, yo, say that you're in a title race and that?
Well, Arsenal are in a title race. They're in a credible title race.
So they're in a credible title race, and why? Based on their own performances, yeah?
Yep.
So there we go, blood. And you and as far as my knowledge is concerned, aren't you the second most informed team in the league?
We are the second most informed.
And don't you have a world-class manager?
Listen,
no. Don't you have a world-class manager, blood? Semi-finals with Ajax, blood. You feel me?
I wouldn't say a world-class manager. He's a manager that's proven. He's not done it obviously in this big league. To do it, you have to do it in the biggest league, and this is a Premier League. So you got to give him time. He's been here 6 months, man. Just relax.
How's that fence that you're sitting on? All I'm saying, all leaders come to an end.
It feels like a defeat. And I'm a bit disappointed, but it says a lot about my team that I am disappointed after the season we've had. Ten Hag is slowly building something here. We can banter, I get it. I know you're coming in here and, you know...
No, I'm not bantering. I'm here to talk about sincere football and knowledge and try and spit something, and I'm trying to offer you a different perspective on your football club. You've got a world-class manager, you've got a world-class 11. In my opinion, if you see City drop off, you see Liverpool drop off, and the only other team who's really showing anything serious, a team you've beat, by the way, in Arsenal... I think if I'm sitting there being United fans, I'm thinking we should go and kick on for this title. But Casemiro suspended for the Arsenal game, so that lowers the chances significantly. And if you remember as well, the Arsenal game last time, they never had party. And that's like their most crucial player.
They should win us then, innit? They're crying about party. They should beat us now. You know what I mean?
But no, they should. They should.
We didn't have Casemiro, so end of the day, you know what I mean? If there's a man that could do it, Ten Hag could do it. He said it in the press conference, so... Listen, these Arsenal fans, by the way, that are getting too giddy about Sunday. Just relax. Because like I said, football's a humbler. So everybody needs to understand
Humbler.
that. End of the
Humbler.
day, you know what I mean? Anything could happen. Tactically, Ten Hag is still doing his thing. So we never know. But let me just get rid of these couple of super chats that have just come in.
Shout out to Esther.
Yeah. Big up to Esther as well. Big up to Solheim. He says, bro, after last season, I thought we'd finish 6th, and Eric Tanner is cooking. Arteta is 3.5 years in. Chill, Liverpool, dude. Listen, man, this is the Northwest.
Sorry. I apologise. No. Listen, Saeed, I understand if your audience can't handle my smoke. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. And over the weeks, by the way, guys, this is going to be a reoccurring show, weekly basis. 1 week on this channel, 1 week on mine. If you can't handle the smoke, I sincerely advise you don't tune in. If you can and you like smoke, this is the show for you.
Absolutely. Big up to Esther. Says Saeed and Hamed is a dream combo. Listen, we're here, we're active, man. You got
this is a legendary combo.
This is what it's about, man.
This is D-Generation X type combo. This is what you call Luis Suarez and Daniel Sturridge. If you wish, if you want to throw out Tevez, Rooney, you know what I mean. But Gerrard and Torres was better.
Yeah, exactly. Big up to Akil. He says, how can a team with same points as City and a better squad than Arsenal not be in a title race? If Man United wins 5-point difference with 1 extra game. Listen, I understand that, but winning the league and believing you win the league and in the title race, Newcastle technically are in a title race because how many points are they behind Arsenal?
But they're not big Man United though.
Sorry?
They're not big Man United.
They're not big Man United.
They're not holding their...
But at the same time, I'm having realistic expectations. We're not in a title. We're not going to win the league. Yes, we're technically in the title race, but right now, I can't, for you, as a Man United fan, I can't come on here and say we're winning the league. I'm not, because I have realistic expectations. It's as simple as that. I can get giddy. The thing is, a lot of people saw me after the Man City game and saw the euphoria and said he's coming with chess. No, it's just because we won a derby, and that's all it is. So you have to almost kind of, judge the two between the kind of like, the two teams. So listen, I'm not getting too excited, man. Apparently, I missed the super chats are flying in. I'm sorry if I'm missing any. I missed apparently Antenna Utopia. She wrote a super chat, or he, sorry. Yeah, he goes here. What do you guys think of Leandro Trossard? James, I'll let you answer that one.
Chat, let me know if I'm a little bit quieter because apparently I was speaking louder than you there, Saeed. So chat, let me know if that's a bit better. As long as you can still hear me, okay. So what do I think about Trossard?
Yeah, Trossard, Leandro Trossard.
Big fan. I like him a lot. I think he's a flirty player. I think he's a smart player. And I think he adds a different dynamic to an Arsenal team, which depth can only help. And listen, mate, is he the most perfect signing? No, but I don't know if Mudryk would have been the most perfect signing. It has potential. It's a big money signing, but I think this makes a lot of sense. I think people put too much into Premier League proven. I'm not going to lie. I mean, you've seen Cucurella go from Brighton to Chelsea and it's not worked, but Chelsea have gone through a massive transition. They haven't got a stable style of play, whereas Arsenal have got a style of play which has been developed for 3 to 4 years. So he's coming into a very well cohesive team, and I remember when Liverpool were at the top of their game and we could bring in, no disrespect, but I'd say Xherdan Shaqiri was a good player. He weren't anywhere near world class in my opinion, but he was good. And to bring in a good player into a good system, you see good things, and Xherdan Shaqiri always brought in at least a 6-7 out of 10. He could create, he'd link the play well, because he was in the system that allowed him to do so. I think Trossard is going to have a very similar luxury at Arsenal, and therefore I think it'll be a good signing. Have you saw on Twitter that it's trending about his age?
Yeah, I don't understand that. Like, what is
people are Muppet Saeed? They're all Muppet Saeed. No, there was an argument. Yeah, there was like a chat, and it was between these two kids, and one of them was like he's 28 years of age, and the other kid was trying to argue that because he's over 28, so because it's not his actual 28th birthday, he's now nearly 29. But then doesn't that still make him 28? And then that whole argument's been trending on Twitter.
What is that, man? And I seen that,
it's the world.
I was like, 28 in football is not old. He's in the peak of his powers. He's got his last contract here now. This will be his last move in probably football. And it's like, this is his best years, so you're going to enjoy the best years. We had Robbie Van Persie. I'm not trying to compare the two, but you just never know. So I think it's a decent signing. I really, really do. Very, very good signing. And I think, you know what? It's what Arsenal need. They need depth. They need quality. And if they're going for this title race, they need goals, and Trossard's going to give them goals. Zamias said here, never mind Liverpool, United, Arsenal winning the league side. Sign up the Undertaker to play graveyard shift up front for you. All right, listen, Zayn Miasi. I don't know if you know Zayn Miasi, by the way. Do you know Zayn Miasi? This guy.
I do. No, I do. No, I do know Zayn Miasi. Yeah, he's tuned into a couple of my streams, I believe.
Yeah, but he's a troll, man. Big up to Nathan. He goes, big up Saeed and James from Australia. Australia. Can you do Australia accent, by the way?
Australia, mate. Fucking hell, Saeed. I can do all this on cue, mate. You know what I'm saying? If you want a kangaroo, I can get you a fucking kangaroo. If you want a fucking... What's like also stereotypical in Australia? I can only think of kangaroos, me lad. You know what I mean? Shout out to Alexander Volkanovski, the UFC champ.
Yeah, man. Because big up Saeed and James from Australia. I'm here for the Arsenal prop. One question: who would you take in your team from this Arsenal team? For me, it's Odegaard.
Don't mind if I diddly do with Odegaard myself, mate. Give me a little bit of Gabriel Jesus as well, if you don't mind. And you know what as well? I'm looking at Thomas Partey and I'm thinking, don't mind if I diddly do, Saeed. You know what? Yeah, I'm so sick of Fabinho looking like a granddad. Yeah, shout out to my nan and God rest their soul. But in her current condition, I think she does a much better job than what Fabinho's been doing. And that's in her current circumstances. So here's the score. Fabinho, I love Fabinho. He's just had a baby, innit? But it looks like he's been the one who's carrying the baby and therefore delivered it, because he's delivered and nothing on the pitch. So I am concerned about Fabinho, I won't lie, but you know, this is like the true moment where, you know, the club need to recognise that these players just need to start to be replaced. Whether you sell them now or next summer or let them go on a free isn't the point, but get them replaced. When City let go of Fernandinho, they already had Rodri. And there's many other instances where City were well prepared when a player left. So
absolutely, it's true. Big up Masood says 10 Hag's first season and every rival wants him to win the league. Make sense, Saeed.
I actually don't think it's. I don't think it's every rival.
Competing. No, 100%. Listen, people, Masood, he's bantering. You know what I mean? So we're gonna get this banter, but I understand that if you're talking in real football terms, listen, he's doing a good job right now. We're in the top 4. Now it's the next season will be the time to build, and the season after that. But if you put Man United to high standards, you know, this is what we should be expecting.
But do you know what, though, Saeed? You're right, I was bantering. But the competitive... I always like to say, if I was in your shoes, and if I am in your shoes, if Liverpool are in United's current position, say we were the ones who got Ten Hag, I'm thinking to myself, do you know what, let's just say in a horrible world, I'm a United fan, I'm thinking, okay, we've got the most league titles, we've spent a lot of money over recent windows, and someone like Thomas Tuchel even shown that another man's squad, even with heavy investment, you can still achieve something with it. And when I see City drop points, when I see Liverpool drop points to the way they have, I think there is a tiny element to where United could be like, they could look at this like opportunists, and look at this like, you know what, mate, we can capitalise on this, we can bounce. And I don't deny Ten Hag's improvement. I'm just saying, like, it might be a bit of a disappointment if you don't make it a closer battle than what you could. Because if you beat Palace, and then let's say you beat Arsenal on the weekend, a lot of if, buts, maybes, but then you're 2 points behind them.
Yeah, it's true, it's crazy.
And then they've got 2 more games against City, and City can beat them on any given day, but City are way more inconsistent. So honestly, I believe if you really analyse it, again, if, buts, maybes, and I don't do them, but I think United might have missed out on a trick.
Yeah, absolutely. Big up to Brent. It says over 700. Yeah, there's 758, man. Guys, first show on this
Smash a like, yeah, pussies. I'm messing.
Yeah, exactly, man. Smash the like button, people. It's free. It helps the channel algorithm. You know, algorithms. You know what I mean? They're mad at the minute. So let's get the algorithms. And like I said, man, I don't think you get a show with a Scouser and a Mancunian. So enjoy it while it lasts, because it gets Larry. It gets Larry. That's what we say in Liverpool, don't you? Larry. Larry. You don't say that in.
I personally don't say it, but I've heard Scousers say some mad shit. So I'm not saying any of our kind doesn't say it.
But yeah, let's talk about the game yesterday. Obviously, Man United were humbled. What are you thinking, bro? About the game yesterday and in general, what was your kind of overriding feeling? Squad depth. What's the situation?
Do you know what? I don't actually think it's that bad. And I said everything I said at the start of the stream. I don't think it's that bad. Crystal Palace are a very well structured side. They play good football. They've got very good young players. these young players contain an incentive. You know, all these Palace players, you can tell they're trying to get the big moves, and they're all in singing off the same hymn sheet, and that's why Patrick Vieira has been able to create a little bit of a dynasty there, if you will. So, you know, the atmosphere looks good. It's not a bad result. And again, United have been so consistent. There was always going to come a point where they were going to drop points. And listen, Arsenal and United, say they go on to compete for the league the next couple of years. I'm not saying this is because of bad management or anything like this, but I highly doubt they're going to be going for the 97 points, or they're going to need to get the 97 points that us and City had to compete for. And I think that's why we got those points tallies, because there was the competitive value there, and you need to win the next game. I think it's not, you know, if we drew, that was a loss. I don't think it'll be the same in future title races. I think they were kind of odd exceptions. So either way, sound results. I think in the long term, you're still going to get top 4, which was the main objective going into the season. And that's it from me.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Elise though. What a goal.
Yeah, listen, man. By the way, do you like that? Would you as a fan be pissed off if you score like a last minute equaliser, you don't celebrate with the fans? Because a lot of people are saying you should have celebrated with the fans. I don't understand that. If that's his own way of expressing himself, then that's his own way, innit? Like,
listen, lads, I'd be more pissed off if I went home that night like after the loss. I'd have been even more fuming if we lost the game. So yeah, go ahead, score last minute winners and not celebrate all the fuck you want. I'll still celebrate. You get what I'm saying? And fair play to him. You know, like it might be his character. Who cares if he's doing the business?
Exactly. Big up my guy HK Music. I think he's talking about the Arsenal fans here. We have lost Cavani, Greenwood and Ronaldo and replaced them with Hogwarts, but rival fans expect us to challenge. Let's not be
but he will still put in way more of an effort than the two players. Greenwood's different because his circumstances was whatever. Yeah. But I think Cavani and Ronaldo lacked massive motivation in the squad. So listen, when it comes to proving yourself and showing an incentive, I think Weghorst has that. You know, remember Igalo when he joined and he had a little spell of the few decent goals and whatever? Like, listen, mate, it's because he wanted to prove something. It was a childhood dream. When players have something to prove, don't underestimate that. Whereas when you see players like İlkay Gundogan coming out the other week and saying our players might be a little bit complacent, it's a very normal human thing for that to happen.
Absolutely. Big up HK Music, man. I hope you're well, bro. Big up to Dan Watson. The fact that rival fans are celebrating the United draw shows how good United have been this season. Still 19 games left.
I celebrated them when you were shit.
To be fair. You know what? Lockdown. This is why, for me, when I
celebrated them when you were shit.
Demise, I enjoy it to the fullest. So when he gets me now, he's going to enjoy it. This is what I love about the rivalry's back. Like, I feel like now Liverpool are shit and they're in the mud. I can enjoy it a little bit more. So I'm waiting for J Redmond TV. I'm locked in to the watch-alongs. I'm locked into post-match reactions. I'm here because if we're in the mud, we're a Liverpool. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I have to go.
I mean, we can talk about us now if you want. We can talk about us now if you want. Like,
let's segue in. Liverpool. Chat to me, man. Let's talk about FSG. Let's talk about FSG and your ownership. What's going on? What's the latest?
So, right, here's the score. So there's in terms of a track record, I'd say James Pearce has been definitely one of the more reliable Liverpool journalists, but he definitely has had a few chinks along the way in a few of the calls that he's made. He said we wouldn't get Alisson. He said we wouldn't get Diaz. Just a few shouts to where, you know, a journalist can lose a little bit of credibility. Either way, not to suggest that means he's not completely credible. But he came out and said that the owners aren't looking to sell and that they're only looking for minority investors, essentially. So that's the update from James Pearce. But it's been a very interesting story. The news broke in around October, November, to where the club was thinking about selling. And then, of course, we've been linked with loads of different people, all the way from Qatari investments all the way to Conor McGregor. So, you know, it's been just one of those mad journeys. You'll start to notice it now with the United talks. But in all honesty, Saeed, even if a takeover does go through, I don't think anyone knows. I actually don't think FSG know if they're going to sell the club yet, because it's all good and well saying I'm not going to sell the club, but when some Qatari fella calls on the phone and says, how was the baseball yesterday, man? I don't give a fuck, lad. I want to buy your football club. 6 billion. There you go. Lad, that's when the conversation changes. So you can have all the plans in the world. Oh, yeah, we want to stay with Liverpool. We want to create a dynasty. But when 6 billion... Saeed, you love this channel, innit, Saeed TV?
Yeah.
You love it to bits and you'd never let it go. Now, let businessman James walks in. 5 billion for your YouTube channel in its current condition. Shut the fuck up, Saeed. Just take the money. Yeah. So circumstances can change. That's what we've just proven from that one example there, haven't we? So I do still believe an ownership will happen, just not anytime soon. I think maybe in 2024, 2025, advancements can really start to be made. Until then, we're going to fall behind in the pecking order.
24. What did you say? So 2024.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen like anytime soon at all. I think FSG is still very much planning to.
Liverpool are in the mud till 2024, 2025.
It depends. You never know. We might not be. We might be. What are you laughing at? What are you laughing at? There's no need to laugh right now, Saeed. What are you laughing at? Got your little fucking studio and you think you're Billy Big Bollocks now? All right, go ahead then.
Bro, you said another 3 years of this demise.
No, I know. Maybe it could be, but it also could be decent. We might transition and turn it round.
Okay, any owners now, James. You're never gonna get owners, bro.
No, but Saeed,
Man United are gonna get your owners, the owners after that, the owners after that. Like,
oh, you can have ours. They're not gonna help you much.
Your owners. Maybe we can give you guaranteed owners. Maybe we can give you guaranteed owners. Oh my! But you know what it is though? I look at Liverpool, yeah. I just think to myself, right. Is it an attractive proposition? Though? If you look at Liverpool right now, it is a massive club, by the way.
Yeah.
But as a proposition, you see when Man United's commercial entity and what we can do commercially, is Liverpool attractive enough for someone to come in and write, I want to take this over? Be honest, as a fan, is it attractive enough?
By the way, is my Wi-Fi all good? Like, can you see me? Okay. Okay. Yeah. So, sorry. What was the question?
Is Liverpool an attractive proposition?
Oh, yeah, an attractive proposition. Right, yeah, so an example. So Beyonce's dead fit. Is that something that we can all simultaneously agree on, that Beyonce's a really good-looking woman?
Yeah, Beyonce.
Okay, now, she's amazing. Now, let's say Beyonce plus £20. Still beautiful. Still a beautiful woman. Just not as beautiful. Not as much of a, an attractive proposition. Liverpool have just put on £20. We put on £20, and Saeed, you're in the reverse journey. You're losing weight, and you've been doing a great fucking job. Yep. Guys, get a clap emoji spam in the comments right now for the hero to my left, absolute hero, who is inspiring me every day. I will say, but we're just we've just let ourselves go a little bit. Got a bit of a belly, and that's more than okay. Now it just depends. Do we go too far one way and just become this, or do we get back into, Arnold Schwarzenegger modes and just get boss? That's the really interesting thing. So I think, we're still linked with Jude. I don't know if we're going to get Jude, but I'm expecting a big player or two. When we sign that big player or two, I'll see how we react next season, and then
The thing is, Jude Bellingham. Like, I'm just thinking to myself, with the ownership, with the money they spend, have the owners got that capacity to spend that money? What is it? How much will Jude Bellingham be? 120 odd million? How much would he be?
Yeah, like 120 million.
So do Liverpool have the capacity to pay that this summer on top of what else you need as well? Because you need a lot of money. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Do you know what as well, Saeed? I don't want to spend 120 million. No, I would spend 120 million on Jude Bellingham if we could get a few other options as well. But if you spend 120 million on Jude Bellingham, that means you're probably only spending 20 to 30, no more than 40 million, I'd assume, on another player in the midfield. I'd rather go and get Enzo Fernandez and Casado opposed to just Jude Bellingham and, let's say, Amrabat.
Do you see Casado is now 75 million. Enzo Fernandez release cost is 100 million. That's 175 million.
But so that's two players. That's two players who are also not much less proven than Jude. We've got to remember, I love Jude as a player. I do think he is overrated, but that's only because people hold him to the absolute highest of standards for a young player. So I'm not saying he's shit. I think he's still really good. But just be careful because he's young and he's in the Bundesliga, and it's just one of those things that it's going to take time.
What are you trying to say, Sancho hype? Are you trying to say Sancho hype?
No, it's just I heard Liverpool fans saying he's going to be better than Gerrard and that, and what you've just got to realise, players like Gerrard, Scholes, Lampard, these are once in a lifetime footballers. So even if Jude becomes half of what they did, still a great footballer, just not might not be them. So I'm just saying to people, be careful, because if you put all your eggs in the Jude basket, you're fucked if that doesn't go right. So I don't know, lads.
Absolutely.
I'm a bit worried.
Yeah. By the way, this guy's still over 900 of you in the chat. Smash the like button. I appreciate the support. I don't go live at 1 p.m. So to get this kind of traction at 1 p.m. time is amazing. So hats off to you guys. Make sure you subscribe to Jay's Redmond TV. Go on his channel. Like I said, next week, next Thursday, we'll be on his channel. The week following, we'll be on my channel. So we'll keep you updated. We'll alternatively look at this as well. So big up the community. But yeah, man, it's ridiculous. Liverpool are in a mid-off this Saturday, which is mad to think of. You and Chelsea are in a mid-off.
The mid-classico.
The mid-classico. That's what we're calling it. The mid-classico, man. Like, it's mad. Liverpool, the way you've dropped from Champions League to last season, chasing the quadruple, to where you are now, it's like, it's crazy.
Shite.
And obviously, I'm enjoying it. But at the same time, I'm like, how? Where has this drop-off been? I get you have injuries. I get it. I hear it from Grizz every day. Don't get me wrong. I know the violins are out. But the drop-off must be like, it must be hurting you right now.
Combination of I think injuries, but also players getting a bit finished. So 2 seasons ago, when we were able to luckily scrape third, that was a case of, we still had players in their prime, like Salah, Mane. It was just we never had no centre-backs, we never had no spine. Whereas now we've got the injuries as well as the prospect of Fabinho being finished, Salah being finished, and that just couldn't have been anticipated. And FSG would have got absolutely ridiculed if they didn't give Salah a new contract, and that was just based on the perception at the time. Clearly, hindsight is showing it might have not been a bad idea to let him go. These things can happen. I want to see what we're saying next season. I've saw Chelsea. You remember when people were saying we were the worst title defenders, and it was like, hang on a minute, Chelsea literally went from first to 10th. First to 10th? No comparison. But either way, they're an example of a team who, as good as they are, they've had bad seasons. City, they've had the odd bad season, but they haven't really dropped out the top 4. It can happen with the structure of Liverpool Football Club, and if that means one season without European football or Champions League football, then that's the way it's going to have to be.
You know what? It's one of them.
It's a big shine.
A little bit. Yeah, exactly. It's one of them. But I just look at it and I think, yes, you've got massive injuries, but the drop-off, obviously Van Dijk this season hasn't been the same. Konate hasn't been most effective.
But yeah, Saeed, let me put it on you then. Do you think it could be a combination of not just the injuries, but also certain players being just a little bit finished?
Yeah, I think for me, Fabinho done. Thiago, I think you're asking for a lot from him at 31, 32 now. Again, your midfield is leggy. I think the midfield area you have neglected. You have absolutely
100%. Well, when we sold Gini, the interesting thing about when we sold Gini is Thiago was his replacement, which was terrible because that's not a like for like. It's okay to get a like for like for Gini. Let's say we got Renato Sanchez at the time. That's a decent like for like signing for Gini, but then you can add Thiago on top of that. And both of those players wouldn't have been any more than a combined 60 mil, I'd assume.
Yeah,
Thiago was 20. Renato, and I'm thinking more on the good ends, I'd assume he was like 40 when we bought Thiago, maybe 50. I think it would have been some decent business, and you're right, we never got that like-for-like replacement, and now we're just kind of hoping on the likes of Tyler Morton coming back on loan from Blackburn and doing well, lad.
What's it called?
Bakitic.
He's good, he's decent. I like him, you know what I mean?
Well-rounded player.
He's like a nippy player. He used to have that Mascherano back in the day, and he kind of gives you that kind of vibe.
I said he's got a little bit of Mascherano and like a glimpse of Xabi Alonso, but Xabi Alonso. But when I say like a glimpse of Xabi Alonso, I just mean his decision making was brilliant. Yeah. And but again, it was just a very mature performance. I was also I think a player you'd like, Ben Doak, great player.
Yeah,
he's a great player. It's just weird, like he can get 10-minute cameos and you notice what he does, and I'm just like, I'd rather that than Salah at the moment, because he's actually getting involved. He's not afraid to get in for the shoulder barge. He's happy to take players on, and his flair is unbelievable. His ability on the ball is fantastic, and he comes from Celtic, good academy. There's a reason why we bought him at such a young age from such a credible academy, so I'm hoping we give him more chances. We've got nothing to lose.
No, 100% not, 100% not. Big up Nathan, he says Saeed will replace Ripemzi on Best of the Rest. That's basically a show where you have the best, and then now you have the best of the rest. So, yeah, man, big up to Premzi, man. Listen, you never know, man. The downfall might be sweet, man. You never know. Someone's asking about What happened to Arthur Melo? Listen, that was a weird signing, man. Very weird signing.
Do you know what? It was weird because it hasn't worked out, but it actually made a lot of sense. We've got owners who don't want to spend money on a new midfielder. We had a lot of injuries in midfield at the start of the season. We needed to get someone else. Arthur was a free loan option. Juventus is still paying the majority of the wages as well, so there was nothing really to lose for Liverpool except they had one less option in midfield, which they actually ended up having anyway. So it didn't work out. It's weird in hindsight, but I actually understood the transfer at the time.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know what it is? It's a mad season, man. You know what I mean? Arsenal top of the league. You know what I'm saying? Man City are not being great. And Liverpool and Chelsea are, 9 and 10 respectively.
Yeah.
Like, it's a mad season. And it's like, it's Newcastle are where they are. And it's crazy to say that. Tottenham almost don't deserve to be in the top 4. It's kind of weird. Like, they deserve it, but then they don't deserve it. It's kind of, how have you viewed this season, bro? Because I'm just like, it's mad, like, the way the dynamics have been. We've been on this mad run. You know what I mean? And showed resilient from where we were last season. How are you viewing the season, man?
I'm enjoying it. I like it. I know that we're shit, but I'm a football fan, and you know, when I can remove me Liverpool goggles, I actually enjoy what I'm seeing. I'm enjoying Newcastle doing sick and the fans creating a great atmosphere. It's intriguing to see Arsenal doing well. Purely on the side that, you know, I have no qualms against Arsenal. If they win the league, that means City don't or you don't, and I'm alright with that. That's much preferable in my eyes, so I don't mind them winning the league. But then even everything to like the relegation battle, everything going on with Everton and Frank Lampard, that's funny to watch as always. It's just it's a fucking crazy season. But you know what, Saeed, like, I'm here for it. You know, I wish we were better. I've accepted we're not. Let me enjoy everything else that I'm seeing, because, you know, there's a lot of action going on in the Premier League at the moment, and like I said, as a football fan, it's good to see.
Absolutely, man. Big up to Ruslan. He says Liverpool will smash Chelsea and get back to winning ways. United will get battered at the Emirates. See you next. See you, Saeed. You are next. Come on, Liverpool.
Up the fucking Reds! Go on, Ruslan. Thank you for the super chat, G.
I don't know if you believe in that, mate. I don't know if you believe in that, Ruslan.
Me and Ruslan always believe, Saeed. Don't doubt our belief.
Yeah,
underdogs.
Where was the faith at Brighton, man? You know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. Listen, I think there's issues at Liverpool, and like I said, you know what I mean? Klopp's trying to do a lot without having a lot of resources, and obviously a lot of it. It's crazy. And then you got United doing well. For me, like I said, we could get in this top 4, solidify top 4, then however we finish, win trophies. For me, I want to win trophies as well this season. Like, we always get fixated about where we are in position wise, but for Man United to win a trophy this season means a lot, man, because we haven't won one in 6 years, and the Carabao Cups that we got now coming up, Man United need to win them. Mentality, that's what you need. It starts off eras.
Yeah, you do need to higher the expectations at United, to be honest. I think just because you've had a few shit seasons, people think, oh, it's okay, we can just get 4th and it's fine. And that is fine. I'm not saying if you get 4th and no trophies, sack Ten Hag. Not the case at all. But I would really advise, look at the case at hand. You know, the Carabao Cup, are still in that. The FA Cup, is still in the FA Cup? Yeah?
Yeah, FA Cup, yeah.
Yeah, still in the FA Cup. Still in the FA Cup. Europa League as well.
Yep, Europa League as well.
And then you can even add the Premier League if you were to beat Arsenal this weekend. I think if you beat Arsenal and put a string of wins together, I think United just need to create the mentality of opportunists. You've got a manager who's used to nothing but winning. You've got certain players like Anthony, Lisandro Martinez, who are now accustomed, you know, to winning under the same manager. And that is now being bred through the team. And I think, you know, Arsenal players have not won a trophy before. A lot of them have not won a major trophy before. There's got to get to a point where they're ready to win a trophy. When is Bruno Fernandes going to be ready to lift a trophy for United? When is David De Gea going to be ready to lift a trophy for United? Like another one, because it's been a while. I know he's actually won a couple. But you get the point. Point, though. I think simultaneously and collectively as a football club, if you guys higher your expectations, you might just achieve a little bit more. And again, that's not to say if you don't achieve any trophies to sack Ten Hag the first season. But if you look at it from that way, you never know.
So what's your expectations then? What were you thinking? Because Liverpool, Grizz said to me, you know, top 4's looking a bit shaky right now. What do you think? Can you make top 4? What's your aim now? Are you just looking at game by game? How's your feeling right now as a Liverpool fan now? What's your emotion?
Don't get relegated. Don't get relegated. And it's very ironic, you know, me talking about keep the standards, but the actions don't show the standards on the pitch. You know, Eric Ten Hag has been showing his standards that he's been setting higher and higher and higher game by game. Liverpool aren't showing the same thing right now, and I do believe it's a massive part to do with the lack in squad depth. I feel like there's a lack of agency from big players at the club. I feel like certain transfers have been massively mismanaged. I feel like Oxlade-Chamberlain staying, Naby staying, all big mistakes. Even Milner, I love Milner, and he could have had a role, but he should have been the 7th choice midfielder if he was to have a role, and he should have been that for the past 4 years, not just 1 or 2.
It's mad when you think about it.
It's craziness to me, madness to me. I'm, in all seriousness, we should get Europa League and this, that, and the other. It's not the same Liverpool team, so just try and stay in there, try and get top half or something. Push for Europa if you must, and then next season kick on again.
No, 100%, man. Big up to Hit 44. Jesus and Zinni about to win their 5th Premier League. Listen, these Arsenal fans, yeah.
Fair play to them right now.
Hey?
Nah, but they should be. They can say that. They can say that.
They listen, I'm just saying, at the end of the season, if they don't win the league, we are coming for you lot, mate. That's all we're saying.
You should get yourself in that conversation, though.
Nah, listen, I think for me, it's one of them. We have to take it game by game. They're in a little bit of a league now. They're the league leaders. So this is the pressure's on them now. So we'll see what they're made of. And they've got
18-19, we were the leaders and we bottled it. You got to remember, like, it's still City. Like, City is really the team that should be going on and winning the league. You know what I mean? But if they do drop off,
City still, it doesn't look like it's.
They're not going to. They're not going to. I'm just saying, on paper they should.
You don't think there's the dynamics are there for them to win the league this season?
No, the players look very much less hungry, let's say, and I feel like that was emphasised by Ilkay Gundogan himself. I feel like they're trying to accustom a very, very good player in Erling Haaland, but a player that's just not really needed for their system. Not saying that you can't utilise him in the squad and bring him off the bench and start him in certain games, but the approach seems to be, let's put Haaland up front every game and let's get the balls into him. And now you're seeing a wider impact on the overall team where everyone else is getting less goals. And I said this about Cristiano Ronaldo when he joined Manchester United, and that's why he went from 2nd to 6th.
You know what? Fair play to you. You did say it, man. I
always said it with him.
Yeah.
Always had the energy to say it. And then even fast forward to Darwin Núñez, same thing there. I don't care how good or not good he is, how good or not good I think he is technically. Ideally, I've saw the best models work without an out number 9, so let's keep the model, don't fix what's not broken. Get a number 9, use a different option, use Núñez, I don't care, but why are you bringing in another player who's just a like for Salah, who's an outlet, who's going to run in behind and get on the end of chances? And now look what's happening. Salah's getting less goals and stuff like this. There's a premise to it, and if you build a team more collective and an actual team, opposed to trying to get one man a high volume of numbers, I think you'll start to see a more consistent run of results.
Same with what Man City, you know what I mean? Is that because I still don't believe the argument Man City are worse for Haaland. Like I don't buy the argument. I still think it's just about learning and gelling. You know what I mean? As much as he scored the goals and he's created this mad insane record, I still think it will click with everyone else. But there's a lot of people who believe that Haaland coming in now has disrupted the flow of Man City the way they play. What do you think? Because I'm just like, it's such an easy argument to say, but at the same time...
But that's what I'm saying though, Saeed. No, Saeed, he's already developed. He's very fucking good at football. He's a great goal scorer. Oh, and by the way, doing 2 times the job of what he's needed to do this season. He could be on 15 goals now and that'd be a great return. But he's on 20 plus and he's looking to break the Premier League record. Haaland is doing more than his job. When I say this, I'm not criticising him. The same way people thought I was criticising Ronaldo when I said that. I just said no. Your team's better without him. Bring him off the bench if you must. But the 2 case studies is you're better before Ronaldo and you're better after Ronaldo. And when he started getting dropped, you played better. And the same is with City. I think the same will follow with City if they had a fault. I think they'd be better now with Gabriel Jesus up front than Erling Haaland. That's what I believe.
You reckon?
No, I do. And before people get the knickers twisted, I'm not saying Gabriel Jesus is better than Haaland. They're 2 different players.
That's the point. Yeah.
He's better at certain things than Haaland, but then Haaland's a
But you're talking
machine.
About fluidity, the way that
he flow. And bear in mind, when Aguero got injured, who was the man to step up in his place when City got 100 points? And don't forget, he still has won the Premier League 4 times. Don't look at Gabriel Jesus as a waste man just because it was at City. Like he still was a big part of that. You know what I mean?
But I still think that argument needs time to flourish. Like, let it marinate.
No, but Saeed,
we're only 4
the
months
early
in.
case study, you're right, bang on, but the
Early
early
case
case study suggests that, not that Haaland can never win a Premier League at City, but can City be as good as what they was? Because this is the question that we're asking, innit? Can they maintain the same dominance? Can they do, and can they do that with a completely different system? That's what excites me.
But maybe the plan is for the Champions League. Maybe this season isn't about the Premier League. And I
And
know
that's the perfect player you need for the
and
Champions
that's the
League.
perfect Champions League. It's not about how you play. It's about
Yep.
the end result.
Winning-
And what did
winning
they
the
miss last
games.
season? Not the Grealish, the Bernabeu. What happened in the Bernabeu last season?
Yeah.
They didn't take their chances. So maybe that's where we're coming from. We got a couple of super chats here. Big up to everybody. 1.1k in the building, guys.
Hey, this has been a huge first show, by the way. Can we just
Bro.
appreciate how great this first show has been? Guys, smash a like as well.
Smash a like on the video. Big up to everybody.
Big up
like
yourselves.
I said, Northwest Divide. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Nathan says, I feel like James is the only Liverpool fan that respects Arsenal and realizes that we are a massive club that needs to be challenging for titles. There we go.
Nah, Liverpool's still bigger.
Had to get that one in there. Big up to Asif, who sends a donation but without a message. But listen,
Big up, man.
Bro, love the support. If the Arabs buy United, says Ramo, says if the Arabs buy United, I'll celebrate it like a trophy. Of course. Listen, mate, I'll be at Old Trafford, down Stretford Road. I'll be there, and we'll be all having a party, mate. You know what I mean? Like, we'll get our mocktails because we don't drink, but we'll get our mocktails and that, and we'll having a barbie, man. So listen, join us, man. Big up LJ Brown says, Hammers, do you think Klopp should convert Trent into midfielder rather than leaving him there? That's the old question, isn't it? That's the old.
It's the oldest question in the book. He's never tried it. He's never going to try it. Listen, Trent's a right back now. Whether he's a wing back, right back, defender, non-defender, it's his role, and I feel like shouldn't break it too much. When Trent's worked at right back, it's worked very fucking well. You know what I mean? Like, people forget about how good Trent was when he was really on form. He shows glimpses of that at times. Let's just hope he can improve the consistency, and I believe we've got one hell of a player at right back.
Absolutely. Big up to Ryan. He says, I do think Haaland has made City worse, but it's not his fault. It's a system change.
This is what I mean. Like, it's nothing to do with Haaland. He's doing more than his job. Is the point? He's overcompensating, and that's why City are probably getting still points, and that's why people still believe they can come back. But when I watch City, they just don't look the same. Now, part of playing this is the fact Diaz is out currently, Stones is out currently. Let's not dispute these guys and their injuries. When you lose your base, when you lose, like, people don't realise in every sequence of a goal, the first pass is just as, if not more important than the person who put the ball in the back of the net. And I really do mean that, Saeed, because the build-up play is so essential. And this is why when we had Nat Phillips playing at centre-back, the play was just shite, because the build-up play was non-existent. And it's the same with our team now. But when they bring back Diaz, John Stones, one of the most underrated centre-backs in English history, by the way. Definitely. One of the most he's one of the greatest English centre-backs of all time, and people don't talk about it. It's funny. It's funny to me, and I have no bias to say that.
We'll be talking about him in the same breath as the players.
If he retires tomorrow, I am happy to not say Rio Ferdinand, but I'm happy to put him in the category below, quite happily, or at the bottom of that list. You know what I mean? Whatever list Rio Ferdinand's in, I'm happy to put John Stones at the very bottom, because he's won multiple Premier Leagues and whatever have you. But I think when they come back, they'll do better. But yeah, mate, it's just, I think that instead of Haaland, Haaland can get 40 goals, but instead of Aguero getting 20, Gabriel Jesus getting 10, Sterling getting 15, Bernardo Silva getting 10, De Bruyne getting 10, I feel like the latter option is much better.
Facts, it's true. You know, you're right, man. You're right, honestly. And you know what it is? Football is, like I said, it's not just, it's a simple game, but you also have to analyze certain situations in what's happening. You know what I mean? And like I said, not always what seems it may it kind of look what it represents. So I feel like for me, Haaland, listen, is devastating, is annoying, but this is down to Pep Guardiola. He gets paid the money to go sort it out. So it is what it is, man. Big up to Hit 44. He says, Arsenal, Man United, FA Cup final, Europa League final, and for the Prem. Let's get it started. Let's bring the rivalry back and speak shamelessly about our clubs. Listen, you'll always find me shamelessly about my club. You know what I mean? So I'm there whenever. So don't worry, man. You know what I mean? When it comes to that situation, we'll get there. But for now, you guys are at the top of the league, and we're in the chasing pack. We are in the mix. So listen, let's see what happens, man. Big up to Asif. He goes, Saeed, love the content, bro. Smashing it. How can I get in one of your videos? Aspire to be like you. Wow, man, I appreciate that, man. Listen, I've never got that compliment before. Yeah, definitely. What I'll try and do is message me on Instagram, and then we'll sort something out. Whether it's a calling show, whether it's a panel show. I normally do calling shows, so whether you can come in as a calling show, that would be.
I was going to say the call-in show would probably
Yeah,
be the
calling
best
show.
shout, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we'll do is we'll probably get a calling show announced, and then we'll sort it out, man. But nah, I appreciate the support, man. Big up to B. Jeff says, as a City fan, one thing people aren't liking about is what Haaland and Grealish take away from our press. We can't keep teams pinned in. Well, I think Grealish, when he came in against Man City, was your best player, man. So I don't know. What do you reckon? It's a mad one,
Grealish is one of the players that you can use for certain games. So this is what made City so good before, is the amount of changes that they could constantly do and the different approach they could take for certain tactical battles. So one game they could play an outlet like Aguero, the next game they can play someone who's going to create something for Sterling like Gabriel Jesus, and this was the true weapon that Pep Guardiola possessed, and it was why he had a bit of a slow start in his first season where they finished fourth. That was where they never had as much of a strong squad. They were kind of relying still on the likes of Yaya Toure, David Silva, when they were getting more towards the ends of their City careers. And of course, there was a few bad signings like Nolito. If you remember Fulham, Nolito.
Nolito.
But the point is, though, lads, is that I do really believe that that City will be sound. Like, I think they'll come back and just smash it again. I don't know. It's a weird one with them at the moment, even like with Haaland and the team. It's strange.
Yeah, Steve, man. Listen, hold it, Steve, man. We'll see, man. We'll see. But
hold it, Stevie.
There we go, man. He's come out of hiding. He's tagged me on Instagram today. He's come out of hiding. He's come out of blocking about 1,000 Man United fans. So he's back on the men's now. I hope you're well, Steve.
Do you know what's funny? Yeah, I see like posts where it's clearly a joke. Like it's the most blatant joke. Like I think. I can't remember what one it was. Oh yeah, it was when Haaland and Godfrey had like a little altercation in the game. Yeah. Oh no, it was when Haaland was running away from the players. Do you remember that video where Tarkowski ran after Haaland? Steve commented in the section. He had to run away, mate. He had like 8 of them chasing him like that. And it's because the meme caption was like Haaland flapped it from Tarkowski or something. And Steve's genuinely there like a lawyer in the comment section saying, nah, mate, this is what the problem was, mate. I love Steve. It's funny, but City fans are like, that's the fan base that I get the most pleasure taking the piss out of, only because they bite the most. Yeah. They bite the absolute, like, you cannot say anything bad about their baby, mate.
You know what I mean? And by the way, that Haaland there, do you see the fashion photos, by the way, Haaland? They were mad. You not seen the fashion photos?
Nah, what are you chatting? Is he,
Man, crazy, man. Listen, I think the memes are going to be crazy, man. You know what I mean? I'm going to see if I can get it up there, man. But listen, the memes are going to be mad. You get me? But what's this super chat here saying? Kane doesn't let Man United draw versus Palace, by the way, RVP 2.0. Listen, man, it's easy to say, but we didn't have anyone up front. Like, the midfield was lost. So again, the game is won and lost in midfield. That's the way I've grown up in the way I've been grown up as a footballer. As a fan, sorry. The game is won and lost in midfield. Always has been. Never will change. Yeah. So it's one of them, man. But like I said, it's a long season, man. It's a long season, people. This is going to be a crazy odd season. And I think relegation zone, it's massive. Mid-table, it's massive. And then you've got loads of games that are combined in. The amount of games that people are playing now is ridiculous. Like, you've got a replay that you've just played. You know what I mean? If you now draw against Brighton, you've got to play another replay. You know that?
Yeah.
It's mad. The games are mad.
They need to swerve those replays in the FA Cup, by the way.
I've said it before, but
just take it to extra time. Just take it to extra time. It's only because of all the other football, and I get the FA, they were here first, I suppose, but it's just like, come on, you know what I mean, accommodate. I mean, do you know what, actually? Do you know why I'd actually maybe disagree with what I've just said? It is an okay opportunity to start the young players.
There you go, and also it's extra revenue for the teams that are down below.
So there is. If I was in business, I'd probably still do it.
But I still don't understand the logic of the FA Cup. Like, they could play, like, Man United are at home to Reading and they put it on TV, and I'm like, why are you giving us the TV rights? Give it to a club that is not financially stable at the minute and needs that cash. Don't just keep feeding the rich. Don't. That's what I would say.
It gets them more money though by choosing Man United.
I know it.
More
does, but I
views,
just
more
don't
ads.
Like the idea. It's always been
Yeah.
a bane of me. Don't give us the prime time unless it's a big game where it's too. Like say now, City are playing Arsenal. I get that, but Man United are playing Reading at home, man.
But do you know why that doesn't work though, Si? Do you know why that doesn't work? That's like putting Ngannou versus John Jones on the undercard. Or Anthony Joshua versus Usyk on the undercard. It's like, you know, you can, like you've just mentioned there, Man United versus Reading. Is Anthony Joshua versus a journeyman still going to be the main event of a pay-per-view?
Yeah, true.
You've got to put them in the prime slots. That's just business.
Yeah, but I get it. It's viewership. I get it. But then this is the beauty of the FA Cup. This is the beauty of the story. If you're now, say now you're a fan, and you don't know about magic of the FA Cup, and then you put it on TV and you say, right, Gillingham away versus, I don't know, Newcastle or whatever it is. But then you show that game. Like,
but I'm not watching that.
I'm
not watching that. Nope. I'm not watching Gillingham and Newcastle. I'm not watching. And big up to Gillingham and Newcastle, but I'm not watching it.
Yeah.
But what I will watch, Reading and Manchester United on the hope that maybe Reading can take them out or someone else and whatever. Like, if there's an element where something crazy could happen, then Sam, but whoever wins, like even if Gillingham beat Newcastle, of course it's a big win for them. But to me, I'm just like, okay, Newcastle had a bad day. Whereas if they beat City, I'm thinking, okay, why would just beat City? That'll probably change in a couple of years, though. As Newcastle get better.
Just before we wrap up, people, a little bit on Chelsea. Chelsea, listen, they've got Mudryk. They've got about 1,000 players. You know what I mean? What's more to be said about Chelsea? What have you made of Chelsea at the minute? In terms of what they're doing now that Mudryk is there expectancy to get fourth? Or are they just kind of are they the ones that don't really get stick? They spend a lot of money now, and they're just underneath the carpet, like, you know what I mean? What do you think of Chelsea?
Chelsea are just one of the. I think it's the same. I think Arsenal do the best job of getting themselves talked about. Like most, like people talk about Chelsea and people talk about Tottenham, but I think Arsenal put the neck out on the line a little bit more. Whereas I think when Tottenham do shit and Chelsea do shit, I think they're just more accepting. Whereas Arsenal, they can still kind of like embarrass themselves collectively as a fan base. Like in the majority of instances, there's actually like quite a lot of good Arsenal fans out there as well. Granted, but yeah, mate, I think for Chelsea, it's Thomas Tuchel. Letting him go was the biggest mistake that they could have made. It was a manager who had tactical prowess. It was somebody who was maximising the current players.
I disagree.
Okay, feel free to disagree, but I feel like statistically it's proven he won them a trophy and a new rebuild. You know, he's shown that he's done. Go on, what's the mentality?
I don't understand that. You know, there's a ceiling that he reached. He couldn't match. He maxed out with his players. Tactically, they weren't great. They were conceding goals. Let's not forget what Tuchel.
And they're still doing that now, yeah.
But to again, like I said, they need to get a better manager than maybe.
Because you're talking. Because you're talking about is Graham Potter better than Tuchel? Then is he better than a Champions League winner?
No, he's not better than. That's my point.
Not
he's
even
not
close.
Tuchel. Not even better than Tuchel. So that's.
So again, who was?
Well, I don't know. They should have got. I don't know, but the idea that for me, you say they should have kept Tuchel. I disagree because he was part of the problem as well. He was part of the problem because they were conceding goals. The football wasn't changing. The style wasn't great. So
it's much easier to go. It's much easier to go out there and replace a world-class player opposed to a world-class manager.
I get that absolutely.
Thomas Tuchel has had multiple case studies where he's shown he can be involved in a winning team. Is that something that we can agree on? He won the league at PSG. And by the way, even though that's a given, you've got to win the league at PSG. They didn't win the league the next season. They didn't win the league next season.
Yeah.
So,
but then, what do you do then? You don't solve the problem because you think there's not a better manager out there. So you just keep him. What do you do?
Yes. In that moment, who was better than Thomas Tuchel?
Listen, if Chelsea are that football club that they do, and they sack managers and they always bring better managers, then they should have got a better manager. But
who was it?
They went for a long-term vision. They had a new owner coming in. He said, right, I want a long-term vision now. I want a manager who's up-and-coming, proven, in the Premier League, by the way, and it's done its thing. But it hasn't worked out. But now, like I said to you, I don't believe Graham Potter will be sacked right now. I think he should be given to the end of the season.
No, I agree. 100%. 100%.
But I don't agree with you, the fact that Tuchel should have stayed and Tuchel wasn't also part of the problem. Because he was. You're telling me the way you looked at Chelsea from post-Champions League, I wouldn't say post-Champions League because they were still decent, but just the way they kind of just almost their levels just dropped, that it wasn't time for him to go as well. I think two things can be right.
I feel like we just completely take away the fact that they were going through a complete ownership of the football club, probably one of the biggest political stories in recent history when it comes to football. By the way, that involves at a time where we've had Super League talks and stuff like that. Everything that went on with Roman Abramovich was fucking crazy. They lost out on Rudiger, numerous other players that, like, at the top of me, to be fair, I can't think of.
Should have been given time to come.
This is what. So yeah, he comes in, takes over another man's squad in Frank Lampard, wins them the Champions League, and actually shown that they were one of the more consistent teams in the Premier League. When it all starts going to shit, it was all starting from the political business at the top. Then the takeover happens. The fucking the owner goes out and spends on 10 different players playing FIFA career mode or manager mode or whatever you want to call it. Like, lad, I'm not being funny or nothing. Or the same thing that's happening now with Graham Potter very may well be the same thing that could have been happening if Tuchel stayed. But to say that was the main problem, I don't know. I disagree with that massively. I think Thomas Tuchel is a good manager. I think he's shown it at Dortmund, PSG, Chelsea as well. And I don't think there was better out there. If they could have went and got Zinedine Zidane, fair enough, I see an opportunity there. No one was better than Thomas Tuchel at the time. So, but I agree with you. Graham Potter, now that he's there, he should be given a chance. I just don't think it made too much sense.
Yeah, for me, yeah. But then again, you get time at Chelsea with their fan base. I think for me, Chelsea's got the most toxic fan base out there.
Do you know what as well, Saeed? Last point on Tuchel, and you're right. I think what Todd Bowley's done, he's looked at the culture that was set and built through Roman Abramovich. This is the way it works. We've got to show ruthlessness, and for me to stay on board with these fans, I've got to show an example. I've got to prove myself. So let me go out there and sack the main man in Thomas Tuchel, and let me go and hire my guy. Let me go and get my dude in Graham Potter. Now again, Graham Potter could end up being great, but I just think at that moment, sacking Tuchel was not super necessary. I think giving him a bit more of a project would have been more beneficial, based on resumes. And also, he's a very good tactical manager. It might have not been the most exciting of football, but it was efficient. Got him wins, got him trophies. It was great for cup competitions. We forget as well, in his last full season, he was 2 penalty shootouts away from winning 4 trophies, because he won the Super Cup in his last season, the UEFA Super Cup and the Club World Cup. And then he was 2. So we're talking about a manager who could have won a Champions League and 5 other trophies. The only other one that he would have needed was the Premier League, and it would have been his 3rd season. So I'm just saying, I agree, I think he weren't perfect, but I don't think Jurgen's perfect. I don't think Pep is perfect. But he was good for Chelsea, and probably the best option when you look at it from that point of view.
There you go. You know what? We're going to wrap it up there, man. Nice one, James. What a show. Still 1,000 people in the building. Guys, it's been an amazing, amazing show. I love all the support. Everybody's donated. Everybody's sent comments, liked the video. I don't know how many likes we're on. I would hope we're on at least 500 likes, James. What do you reckon? Should we on?
If 500? We are not on at least 600 likes, I am going to be saying that that's an underperformance from the Saeed and Redmond's army.
Yeah, we're at 494, so if we could get 100 likes from now, that would be appreciative, people. So please smash a like on the video. James Redmond, we're going to be live on his channel next week. So alternative weeks. So next week will be on Hamez's channel. The week after that will be on my channel. And that's how we're going to roll.
Same day, same time, just different channels each week.
There you go, people. But
do you remember, people might know this way. People might know it this way. Do you remember your timetables in schools, guys? And you had week A and week B, or week 1 and week 2? Did you have that? Yeah, well, either way, look at it that way. Week 1, Saeed. Week 2, James Redmond TV.
Absolutely, man. Have you got anything going on today? Little Redmond roundup?
So James Redmond TV is on a break today. Just the YouTube channel, but still content creation is being put out. There's loads out there of me. But there's the show that I've done with the Big Six Extra, which has been going really, really well. So go and watch that. And yeah, mate, I'll be posting tomorrow as well. So there'll be loads of stuff coming out. Appreciate the time.
Someone's asking about the energy show with Expression. Listen, Expressions is clear now. We
this is what. Do you know what? Do you know what it is, people? Do you know what it is, people? Just people ask me about the show all the time. Just be grateful that you witnessed it, because that was a great show. One of the greatest shows of all time. So we might. And again, don't remove the idea of possibly doing one-offs here and there.
Absolutely, don't remove the idea, man. But big up to Expressions, man. Always killing it, man. Big up to Barstool. But guys. I'll be back at 5 p.m. for Mandem Talk. We'll be debriefing, maybe call it therapy all you want, but we'll be debriefing the kind of yesterday's results.
The
and whatnot.
monstrosity.
Yeah.
The monstrosity from the Manchester United faithful, mate. Know what I mean?
Listen, people, we're out. Liverpool are in the mud.